going to show you how to clear sensor dust from your images in Lightroom. My name is Scott Flathouse. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's get started. For this video, I'm using a series of photos I took of Ironman 70.3 Texas in Galveston in 2022. After doing some edits, I noticed that there were some dust marks on the camera sensor that are apparent in the sky. So let's take a look and I'll show you what I mean here. So I've done some basic editing on this photo, but if I push the dehaze and increase the contrast up, you can see what looks like there are some spots on the sky here. So these sensor dust spots become apparent in places of the image where there's really not much detail and it's pretty uniform in color and tone. And they really only become apparent when you do something extreme like crank the dehaze all the way up. But some of them are pretty bad, so we want to get those cleaned up if we want to have a nice crisp image. And of course, ideally, the best thing to do would be to clean your camera sensor before you go out and take a bunch of pictures. But looks like I didn't do that, and so I'm kind of embarrassed by this. But I want to show you guys how we can fix it. All right, so Lightroom gives us some great tools to be able to handle this kind of thing. And I'm over here in the Develop module, and the tool here is this healing tool. And you can get to it by clicking on it, or Q is the hotkey for it. And I'm in the healing mode. There's also a clone stamp mode and then an erase mode, but I find that this healing mode works pretty good. All right, so it gives us a cursor. Oh, and I think by default the visualize spots is not on, but when you click this visualize spots, the Lightroom gives us the screen where all the sensor dust spots become very apparent, and you can adjust this with the slider. And you can, if you go too far, then everything becomes a dust spot, so you kind of have to balance it out. And right about there works pretty good. So what I'm going to do is just go through here and start clicking on these guys. And when you do that, Lightroom will pick what it thinks to be an open area to replace those pixels. And usually it does a pretty good job. Sometimes you'll go through here and Lightroom will pick an area that you don't want it to pick, and you can always just adjust it and just click on it and drag. And I am using the trackpad on my laptop to do this, and it works pretty good. But ideally, a Wacom tablet or even a mouse, you can do this as well. I like using the Wacom tablet. It goes really quick. So I'm going through here and just cleaning up all these sensor spots. And that may be a little bit of an overkill because a lot of these you never will see, but I just want to make sure that everything is cleaned up. All right. So it looks pretty good. Lightroom got a little carried away with that one. I'll drag it back over here. All right. Well, a couple more right here. Some really faint ones. All right. Now let's turn the visualize spots off, and we'll go back down here to the dehaze, and we'll see what we did. Oh, we got to turn this off too. Okay, so click on the healing. That'll just turn Turn that off. All right. And that looks pretty good. You can not really tell. There may be a couple spots here and there. So you can go back and get those. But yeah, that looks pretty good. All right. Now, I've done that on one image, and we can go to the next image. And if I click on the healing brush and click on visualize spots, you can see there are spots in this one as well. And the spots are pretty consistent throughout the series of images. And we can take advantage of that. And that's how we know that the dust spots are on the sensor, because they don't ever change position in the frame. So instead of selecting each image and manually going through and fixing them again, since that takes some time, we can have Lightroom do that for us in batch mode. So the way we do that is select the image that we corrected all the dust spots, and then shift and click and select the rest of the images in the series where you'd like to apply those changes, and then hit synchronize. And then we can, so I've got none of these boxes checked, and I want to go here just to the healing box. And we're going to apply synchronize. What that does is it takes all of these spots where we've applied the healing, and it copied those onto all the other images in the series. All right, so let's look at that with the visualize spots turned off, and we'll turn off all the and when I go to one of these other images in the series and I increase the contrast by increasing the dehaze, you can see it does a pretty good job. Now it's not perfect, so I may have to go back in here and add one or two more if it's really important. There's a couple more places. I don't know what this is. It's a big old spot. And then what I can do is just carry those adjustments forward to the next series of images. So again, sync and just the healing. Okay. And we'll look and see what we did here. And you can see that that looks pretty clean. All right, and that is how you clean sensor dust from your images in Lightroom. Thanks for watching, and I would appreciate it if you could like and subscribe to my channel for more useful tips in Lightroom and Photoshop and photography in general. Thanks again.